Hello, everyone, and welcome to the episode. Start again.
Das ist immer gut Outtake. Hello to.
You are listening to In Response, a legacy podcast, a show where three handsome guys talk about their favorite Magic the Gathering format, Legacy. This show is brought to you by createness@anycost.com and austrian-legacy.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/response_legacy. And now, lean back and enjoy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the probably most deceptively named episode that we have done until the recent times, to episode 32, Tearing Up My Cards of
In Response,
A legacy podcast.
I'm Philipp Klein,
I am Daniel.
And I'm Peter Plank.
and we talk about legacy.
Most of the time.
So, like I said beforehand, we're addressing the monkey in the room or the elephant in the room here. We talk about the legacy banning today.
I think we are the first one that's talking about this. I hope so at least.
I'm fairly sure not, because I've seen a lot of content creators twittering all over the place that they're recording also today.
For sure, yeah. This was just a joke, of course.
Yeah, so we are certainly not the first, probably not the last, but
Yeah.
we do what everyone will do
We're
today.
somewhere in the good middle in between, I would say.
Yeah, like a sandwich.
Yeah. So we have it
We're
is
like the ham in the sandwich.
in
am I
ham,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, we're a good piece.
We're the best piece because it's out of meat and not vegan.
Is this Ben talk or is this vegan talk? We should do a separate episode about this. So we have Tuesday, it is the 25th of January. Fresh, we have a new ban list of Legacy.
And so, in standard, there's...
Oh my god, do you see this? Did you
I
see
mean,
the standard?
if we're gonna talk about standard, I always thought that I'm talking about the subtle epiphany.
Yeah, so
the one-
Sublime Epiphany.
Yeah, that is gonna get banned, and I was thinking about like, what the fuck? The card is just a 5-mana,
6 mana.
6-mana crazy cryptic command,
Yeah.
and yeah,
It is a staple in Omnital.
yeah, it's a staple.
okay, this card. Now I've got it. Oh my god.
Well, Peter mixed up the cards and he thought that
It's
the
Elrond's.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
but
yeah,
it was
sorry,
a
okay.
But
different.
it's a different epiphany.
Yeah.
And I really had hoped that Plague Engineer or Prismatic Ending got banned for Legacy.
For Legacy.
Yeah, because everyone is writing in Twitter like, yeah, and he had PE, and then I did this, and both have the shortage of PE, and I don't know which card they're talking about.
That's true, yeah.
That's why I'm always using a PE for Plague Engineer or Pending for Prismatic Ending.
Or just ending. Is there another card with ending?
I'm not sure.
Life hack.
Probably. I can save myself one letter that I have to write. What can I do with all this time?
Yeah. I think it is almost a nice foreshadowing from our last episode, if you recall.
Oh yeah.
Me Reggie one more time,
But not twice.
but not twice because he's gone now. So
Okay.
it seems that Ragavan is banned from the Legacy format.
It
Period.
doesn't seem so. It
And
is
that's
so.
Yeah, no, and that's it. Because a
Yeah.
lot of people were thinking about especially other cards that could potentially be banned here. And I think from what I've read in social media is that a lot of people were kind of disappointed actually,
Yeah.
or
Oh, yeah, me too.
underwhelmed.
Me
You
too.
also, okay.
Yeah.
So we just have Ragavan.
Yeah.
What do you think, or what do we think about this? Is this a proper ban, or Philip, you said you're underwhelmed or you're disappointed actually?
I mean, like I tweeted, it's something. it's certainly a step in the right direction. But I don't think it will address the problem that is Blue-Red Delver. It has simply gotten too much in the last 2 years. And it's not just the machine that the monkey was. So you also have the expressive iteration and the Murktide, the force of negation, and Dragon's Rage Channeler. Out of all these cards, the only two that I can see that are a little bit oppressive are Murktide Regent and Expressive Iteration. Although I certainly love myself playing some Expressive Iteration, it just feels good. It's a house of a card. It's very powerful. And that's maybe, if I say a card is strong and I like to play it, maybe it should be banned. That was the same with Death Rat Shaman. I really love to play it. So
I feel you, yeah.
yeah.
Sure.
And Murktide, yeah, like I said in the last episode, I'm probably a little biased here because most of the decks I like to brew around are a little bit weak to Murktide. The clock is just too extreme.
Yeah.
And
So you wanted Murktide to be banned also?
yeah, for sure. In my perfect world, there would have been a Reel of Evil of the Legacy format with 7 to 8 cards banned.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like
A massive overhaul actually of the format.
yeah, for sure. But you would address so many problems at once, and then you could just unban again and look into the cards.
So you would just go full in one direction and then go back step by step.
Yeah, like they did with Pioneer.
With Pioneer, yeah. I mean, this was also because the format was freshly introduced. I think this was also the case for Legacy in the beginning when it was introduced. I mean, I just had actually, this was a nice memory. I had a misunderstanding, or I didn't know that actually. So I learned something today. At the beginning, actually, Legacy and Vintage had the same ban list.
Yeah, that's true.
This was shared. I didn't know that. And for example, a lot of people was originally banned from Legacy, and like simple cards that would never be banned, like Hymn to Torque, for example, was originally banned, and this was because of the shared ban list. Or in this
Is Hymn still restricted in Vintage?
No,
no,
for sure no.
but originally it was banned in this time where it was just one ban list.
Yeah.
And so a lot of banning and unbanning was happening during the time frame. And it was, I think, in 2004 when Legacy established or got its own ban list when the bans were more conservative. And I think this was also the case for basically all formats that were formed, created in the beginning. They need to see the level of the power level where the cards should be. Yeah. And therefore a lot of bannings and unbannings happen naturally. I think this is just natural cause and effect.
Yeah, true. Because if you start a format, you have to look out where the format wants to go. It's the same with Modern, where there was the big overhaul where they banned Faithless Looting and Mox Opal and I think another card in the same...
Or Bridge from Below.
Or Bridge from Below, where they said, we strictly don't want to have consistent combos on turn 3, that we're gonna ban these cards because they make an unhealthy playstyle for the whole meta. Because with Faithless Looting, you had a lot of Grizzlebrand decks that could reanimate him on turn 2, and Affinity and some decks like Cassia and stuff like that were just too fast with Moxopal in the format. So they had to ban them. For Pioneer, they did the bannings for the combo decks, where they said we strictly want to have some synergy-driven decks. We don't want to have the combo decks to be on the forefront in the format. And so stuff like the Lotus combo is in the format, but is definitely not the turn 3 deck. It's definitely not the turn 4 deck. It's more likely a turn 5, turn 6 deck. More like a turn 4 to 5, more likely a turn 5 deck, but is a lot more control driven, I would say, up to this point. And for Legacy, they had a beautiful sentence at the end of the mark for Legacy where they said, we don't want to ban too much of the format now. We have a close look on Legacy. I mean, they said it with Eternal Weekend around, but
Yeah.
it's half a year
Take
ago.
it if you will, or
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
will,
but
yeah.
that's the problem here.
They will have a look onto Legacy and they will see how it goes. And maybe they will do something similar like they did with Popper. But
Yeah, we're going
yeah.
to talk about the panel. I think
Afterwards, yeah.
Afterwards, yeah.
I just wanted to say, I get your perspective on this, or let Philip on your approach to the banning. Of course, there might be the risk if you would do it like this, that for example, I think a good example is we have now actually two examples. The power level of cards always depend on their surroundings and
Yeah, that's true,
the current metagame, right? So, for example, in Modern, we have Ren and 6. It's perfectly fine card. In Legacy, it is too broken mostly because of Wasteland.
Yeah.
And the same might be true for other cards that right now in Legacy might be too strong, but this can be caused by Ragavan being present. For example, Ragavan enforces or make non-blue decks better in what basically is said, because a 2/1 body without any evasion is just going to be blocked. Like Death in Texas, for example, doesn't care about Ragavan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Elves
that-
doesn't care
that's,
about.
That's
yeah.
also the thing why I wanted to get Murktide banned at the first place.
Yeah.
Because with the decks that I play, the monkey is a non-issue almost all of the time.
Yeah.
And Murktide is that's why I said I'm biased here in this direction.
Because you're mostly playing non-blue decks, and Murktide is a big problem for non-blue.
Even if I play blue decks, they're mostly combo based.
Yeah.
And so I'm faster than Ragavan, or the one card isn't really feasible for them to use. I mean, what are they doing with Rite of Flame or with even with a Burning Wish?
Yeah.
I mean, Delva mostly plays instants in their sideboard or creatures, and maybe the one of Enter Festivities in the sideboard. Yeah, okay. Have fun with the Enter Festivities versus Phoenixes. It's
I mean, it depends a little bit on the combo decks, because, for example, against Doomsday, Ragavan is so powerful.
okay. Yeah,
It can mess up the piles really bad. And I can speak, for example, from the Storm side. Against Delva, one of the best cards to have would be Carpet of Flowers. And with Ragavan, people would just not play any lanes out when they have treasures to cast the spells, which severely makes Carpet of Flowers worse.
I mean, Carpet of Flowers has also the downside of being a non-land card that's gets prismatic ending,
But
which is another
also true,
big
yeah.
part of the picture here. But yeah, Ragavan is just insane versus the blue decks. It's
and
especially
combo decks.
versus combo decks, because combo plays the discard and is bad against this card.
Yeah,
And if you rip the Duress,
that's
the
true.
Thoughtseize, or
that's
what,
also very bad.
it's really, really bad. And yeah, treasure tokens are an issue, because a few days you aren't really set behind the mana, because you have the treasure to cast some spells, to lay down and Dragon's Rage Channeler, or whatever the second threat is. And yeah, it's just really, really hard for blue decks against it. But the problem here is that I don't think that Delver will get much worse against the normal blue decks. I think it will still have a relatively good matchup, but it will definitely get better versus the non-blue decks. For the likes of Maverick, Elves, and stuff like that, because this was a card that was bad against them. It was like, do I give them a treasure and two minus my life total, or do I trade a valuable elf? Heck no. What does it do with a Nettle Sentinel to cast off of top of my deck? And yeah, maybe the non-blue or the Delver decks get now even better in the form, because they have a better matchup against the other decks.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I wanted to say, Matt. I mean, you have gotten the words out of my mouth because you don't have to confuse my stance here on banning Ragavan. That we don't have to ban Ragavan because I think it was certainly the right call. I just need to take a step further.
Yeah.
Because everything you said is just true. The Delta decks will just pop out the Ragavans because they're banned now, and replace them with Delvers. And the problem is that, like you said, Ragavan is great against blue decks, and Delver was a blue deck, so it was great against Delver, against the Mirror 2.
Yeah.
And now, like you said, they will be better versus non-blue decks, and non-blue decks were already struggling against Murktide.
Yeah.
And so, in my opinion, the right call would have been ban Ragavan and Murktide. So
that non-blue decks won't get suppressed that hard.
yeah,
This
because
was,
I really think that that this Ragavan this Ragavan ban is a nerf for non-blue decks.
For sure, yeah. I agree on that, yes. And
I mean, but what are the win rates currently for non-blue decks? Because I
Death
think
Nexus is okay.
for I mean, Elves was really good in the format.
Reanimator is
Reanimator
also
was really good.
really nice, yeah.
I
mean-
think the non-blue decks aren't currently
With
that
Ragavan-
bad with
Yeah.
Ragavan in the format.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
with
was-
Ragavan, yeah.
And now this is the point that Philipp is making here with Ragavan being gone, the non-blue decks will significantly get worse.
I mean, but
Four more cards to pitch for Force of Will.
Yeah.
A 3/2 flyer.
And it might
as
be
soon as turn 2.
It might be the case that Murktide needs to be banned in the future as well. This is what I don't like is banning it right away without the knowledge of it actually being too good, because we I mean this, you might be right about this, but another example in the past I can only recall one situation that happens in Modern. The banned Bloodbraid Elf from Chunt in Modern back then, when clearly retrospectively seen Deathrat Shaman was the problem,
Yeah, that's true.
and they just banned one card, and they weren't really consecutive about this, or conservative rather about this, and when you ban things too fast, you run into the risk of that cards die for other sins, for the sins of other cards.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Astrolabe died for Oku. Yeah.
No, that's not true.
That's maybe a different discussion. but
that-
I personally would want to avoid this, and therefore I like this approach of being conservative, going like step by step and seeing how the format develops. Maybe the non-blue decks will be fine. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
I would certainly agree here if we would have a better communication with WotC, and if there would be regularly communication happening with the player base, and not every half a year we get a statement.
Yeah, it's kind of random. Yeah.
That's the problem. You can do the banning step by step every 2 months or every 3 months, like we had back in the days.
Yeah.
Then you can take a step by step approach.
Yeah.
And lead the format in the right direction.
Yeah.
But you simply can't do it if you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, it might be in 1 year or
If
in
there's
half a year.
no communication, if you're just screaming into the void all the time.
Yeah.
That's a problem, and we don't even have the data that the WotC has. We have the legacy data project from Joseph Dyer,
Yeah.
and these are the only things we got, and we have to build our opinion on this.
I mean, I'm not saying that everything else is fine. I think it is very likely that we will see bans in the future as well. For example, expressive iteration maybe, or Murktide, like you were saying.
Or Uro, which was another
Uro
card
is also
that was teased around.
on the list. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Uro would be on my on my 8 cards to be banned.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we will see. Maybe these cards will be banned eventually, or maybe not, because new cards also enter the format until time goes by, and a lot of cards will get worse or better depending on what cards are being played in the format. This is also things that you just can't say for sure. because
Yeah,
of new
that's true.
sets.
And with the power creep that's happening, it's probably really certain that it will happen.
Yeah. But yeah, one thing I wanted to address with the banned restricted announcement is I think it would be quite good to go back to the old system of having, like, as you said, a 3-month period where bans are regularly happening, or a 2-month period where bans are regularly happening. Something like you do it like 1 month or 1.5 months after each big set announcement, or when a set comes out, so you have some data. You can, if some deck is way too powerful, you can ban a card or something like that, and you don't have the constant saying or rumbling around in the communities like, I think we're gonna have a ban announcement in like 2 weeks or in 1 week, and this card has to be banned and this card has to be banned. And it's like, every week we're waiting for an announcement on Monday or Tuesday that something gets banned.
I mean, it's not like that the player base don't recognize it when something is wrong, right? I think
we recognize the problem like
way
before
in
Eternal
advance,
Weekend, which is
So,
like 3-4 months
I would not
ago.
say that this is all that of a surprise. Let's say when I say I go to FNM and suddenly one card of my deck is banned and like, what? And now I can't play this deck anymore.
No,
this is
but
not
it's,
the case. I think
it's the period before the announcement, like 2 months before, because we know there is an issue with the format.
Yeah.
And can I buy reg events?
Yeah, at that.
Am I not allowed to buy reg events?
You talk about financial
not
concerns.
only financial. Yeah,
But to just have a little bit of
but-
safeness, like a safety net. If you know, okay, in 3 months there's a banning maybe happening, but there's a ban announcement, and I can just buy my reg events now, because I can play 3 months at least with it.
So financially, of course, would be of course better to plan it in advance. The problem for WotC, and I think it is important to give them this, is they kind of need a little bit of flexibility, because metas don't shift every 3 months, or it doesn't. The broken decks don't really appear after a distinct amount of time when a new set is released. It's just irregular. It can happen at this event or at this week and this challenge. It's very random. And I think the flexibility is a good thing, that it doesn't have to be strictly at this point.
They had always
I don't like this.
had
if it's
emergency bans.
Yeah, if it is way too broken, you can emergency ban out of
Hulk
these
Flash.
times.
Hulk Flash was an emergency ban.
Yeah. But if you keep in with the 3-month period and you have like an abstract like 200 words long or 150 words long,
what they are keeping
what
an
they
eye on.
think
Okay.
about the format. So you have an update, what is going on, what is with the data, what is an inside perspective in the format. And I think
don't you
this
think-
would be good if they do this.
I think this topic blends now really perfect into the topic we are discussing afterwards of the panel. So maybe we're postponing this
Sure, yeah.
this now.
We can maybe talk about, since we have introduced, we have given our opinions on
More or less.
the style that happens from the banning. But we are here right now. We have from today on, basically, Ragavan is banned from the format.
And nobody had to tear their cards up because you have played it in Modern, Daniel.
For sure, yeah. I will keep playing it.
You have had the Ragavans.
I played them once,
So
and I borrowed them from Christian, but they were trash in my deck, and that was a really good feeling because I didn't have to buy them. And I think back in the days it was like kind of okay because they were about 55 euros each. And now after the bans and they got saved from Modern, it's like 90 euros a piece.
80 to 90, yeah.
Yeah, it's like basically insane.
Yeah, the same thing happened to Oko back in the day, so nothing new.
And Ren and 6.
And Ren 6.
And
So-
for me, I didn't have Ragavans. I have also just borrowed them out from a friend and played them once in an FNM in Mardu, but they are they're okay. They're
This
good
deck, I
cards.
think they were good.
They are good cards, but they're not oppressive or overpowered in any kind of way.
I mean,
The- Anyway, concerning this, Ragavan is gone now, and what do you think will happen to the format? Are there any best decks now? Well, I guess it would be Delver still. It's the best deck. I think this is kind of without any question.
Yeah,
should be still Delver, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
we still have elves that will be good in the format, but got a little bit weakened because the Delver matchup got a little bit worse. I think that we still have Reanimator in the forefront, and I think Reanimator have pretty much the same win rate now against Delver, because I don't think it changes that much if you change up Ragavan for the Delver. Maybe they got a little bit better even, because Ragavan could hit some discard and hit the reanimation spells.
I think there was some article that Max Torschen read.
Yeah, that's a really great article. Yeah.
He suggested, or he supposed that the Devil lists, of course, will play the full playset of Delver again, and then some flex cards like True Name Nemesis and or Brazen Borrower.
Yeah.
And I think especially this card might even...
The Borrower could be an issue now for the Reanimator decks.
Yes, they can have a bounce outlet for their Reanimator targets, and this main deck, and this could even improve their matchup against Reanimator. And also, strictly speaking, Delver, if it flips, of course, is a
good clock,
a better clock than Ragavan.
Premier threat, really.
Yeah. So in that sense, I think Reanimator will, against Delver at least, be a little bit worse.
Yeah, true.
I think we can also, like we addressed this in the beginning, we can say this for all non-blue decks, Elves, Devon, Texas, all these kinds of decks will get worse because True Name Nemesis is an issue, and Brazen Borrower gets rid of anything problematic.
Brazen Borrower bounces Keldra with ease.
Yeah, and they still got Murktide.
Yeah, the token, yeah. And then it just sticks on the battlefield and does
and
nothing.
Dark Depths, for example, is also not a problem anymore in game one.
I think the one deck that will improve in this meta game is like the 4-color control piles.
So the Uru piles.
Yeah, the Uru piles.
Uru
the
wins.
Uru decks will definitely get better here.
Completely agree. Any Uru-based deck will...
So I think that blue will still be as good, maybe even better now.
Yeah,
I think maybe even better because
blue got better.
Yeah, blue got better.
I mean, blue overall
Delver,
got better because
Uru got better.
Delver got worse versus the Uru decks, but Delver got better versus the non-Uru and Delver decks. Yeah.
And Doomsday got better.
Doomsday got immensely better.
So what this ban has done, in my opinion, is just push the top tier decks even higher.
In the short term, yes. I'm not sure if this is the case in the long term, because decks can adapt.
Yeah, for sure. It's just from the things that we know now.
Yeah.
For sure, I can't see into the future.
Mean, combo was not that oppressive. It was actually not very good in the past, and combo is playable again. A lot of people are saying that, for example, also this card is good again. Because
this card is better.
It's better again because of Ragavan being gone. Which sparks the question for me, will there be more Veil of Summer because of more discount being present?
I mean, it will be a wave development, I think.
I think so too,
If combo gets way better, and we see a lot more discard, I think Whale will come back into the sideboard, because currently I think in the Band and 4-color control decks there is not a single Veil of Summer.
There is no need, because basically nobody is playing this card.
And you can't, and you don't have the time to play reactive with a Veil of Summer. That's another thing.
True,
because with Murktide, with Ragavan, you had to push every. You aren't allowed to use the break in the matchup.
And control decks shifted its gears. Like in the past against control decks, when the control is playing against combo, they had just a handful of counter magic, and basically that's it. nowadays they shift the gears towards having more like Narset effects, hull breacher, deafening silence. All those cards that proactively are a hate
Disrupting
card,
you, yeah.
disrupting against combo. They don't need to hold up counter spells that much like in the past, and therefore this card was not really an issue for control decks when they're playing against combo because they had their Narset on the battlefield. I mean, what I'm going to do with my handful of cantrips, wanted to sculpt my hand when I just can't draw any cards when Narset is on the battlefield, or I just constantly have to fear Hull Breacher being flashed in, for example.
That's true.
All these problems, or Deafening Silence being hit on turn 1. Then I just need to dig for my answer, and then my opponent can maybe develop another Planeswalker, another Threatened, and one counterspell is enough, and that's it. So, but maybe since this card is better because of Ragavan being gone, maybe the need, or let's say the people will adapt also to playing more Well of Summer again. This could also be
Could be
a consequence
true, yeah.
based on that. But I'm doubting if this card is like back in a big way.
No, for sure not.
I
Black
also
is
don't think so.
bad.
Black is still problematic, yes, as a color.
I think I found the new card for our last topic.
Okay, I'm intrigued now.
Yeah.
You had my curiosity, now I've got my attention.
But yeah, I think combo will get better.
Combo will
I
get
think
better, yeah.
Uro decks will get better. I
Yeah.
think Delver decks will get better. I think
Non-blue is getting
non-blue
better,
gets a little bit worse. I'm really interested how Painter will adapt, because Painter drives in a blue environment.
Well, naturally it should get better because when blue is getting better, then Pyroblast gets better,
Yeah.
right?
And especially with Ragavan, the non-blue threats getting removed. And
Just have only the Dragon's Rage channel
yeah,
that you
Yeah.
have to handle.
The only question is how good are you against combo decks as a paint deck?
I mean,
overall.
it's 50-50.
Because
Either
combo
you win
will
or
get
lose,
better.
yeah.
And that's like every matchup.
No, I think
You solved
it
magic.
depends on...
That was our first joke of the episode. Half an hour in, we are very, very
So every
stern
matchup
this
is-
time.
So basically every matchup is 50-50 then, yeah? Because
Yeah.
you either win or lose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But sometimes you can have to draw.
Yeah.
but
There's-
you don't
If you
want
play,
draws.
if you play,
you gotta play
slowly.
fast. Then you just have 50-50.
Okay. Or like Chino said, you just win. You just win.
You just win, yeah. Oh, how do we think is Chino Pile positioned in the format right now?
We said non-blue gets worse.
So Chino Pile is probably a
sorry.
little bit worse for listeners
Yeah.
who don't know what Chino Pile is. It's the rule from a one and only Patreon. Shout out to Chino. He plays around in Legacy with Xenagos, God of Revels, and Emrakul, the Eon's Forms, via Tooth and Nail.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's basically Chino Pile. And it's non-blue, so it gets worse.
Example, yeah.
So, yeah. But
What decks will you pick up in the upcoming meta game? What do you
Peter, tell us.
I will most likely get on my new brew.
think? On the new brew.
Painter.
This is a painter brew.
I mean, it's not the Painter brew, it's using the same shell with Esper Sentinel and Witzer Saga. But I will try to pick up some Helm.
Mm-hmm.
Helmy action.
Yeah, Helm of Obedience. And I had 3 empty slots in the sideboard.
And you put the painter in?
No. I was thinking of putting in Hymn to Turok.
Why? This card is bad.
To address combo even more.
No, to have some card advantage
Against
Okay.
control.
against control and stuff like that, yeah.
Well,
Really?
watch out for Whale of Summer then.
I don't think it's gonna be played in the local meta.
In the local meta, maybe not, but overall.
Are you going two or three colors?
2 colors, black, white.
Then why don't you play Night's Whisper?
Because it costs life and gains me 2 good cards and my opponent can discard 2 ones. Yeah, I mean, maybe not.
So basically, this is a black-white... is
Helm.
it
Black White Helm.
black-white helm?
with Laden of the Void, with
Yeah.
how's he called? The Void.
Dot the Void Walker.
Dot the Void
Void.
Walkers.
And Esper Sentinel and
Esper
in an
Sentinel,
Urza Saga
Urza
package to be
Saga
able to grind.
With Stoneforge.
Okay, Stoneforge, okay.
For everyone interested, we got the list online on our Discord. Just join our Discord server. You can find the link in our link tree and on our Twitter and probably also on Facebook.
Yes. Also, we have a Patreon
And down in the show notes.
down in the show notes. And we have a
Yeah.
Patreon where you can subscribe and get some nice in-response goodies and merchandise even, some kind of.
Yeah, the only place where I can merchandise at the moment.
At the
Maybe
moment, we're
maybe
back
in
now.
the future.
It is, what is the link? Patreon.com/
Response_legacy.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay, and back to the topic. Daniel,
Yes.
what will you play in the future?
In the future of Legacy, since combo
This
is
monkeyless future.
monkeyless future, yes. Since combo is getting better, this is great news for myself because I'm a dedicated combo player in Legacy most of the time, and I will for sure try Storm again. I'm not sure if it is good, or Doomsday will just be the better combo deck. I think it is certainly the case, but I wanna.
It's not always about being better.
Yeah,
sometimes
for
it's
sure.
just-
It's about the fun, yeah. And of course, I will try Storm because, we mentioned before, Carpet of Flowers will be better against, especially Delver again. This will be a good plan. Since non-blue decks are getting worse, Storm is usually better in these fields because the worst matchups of Storm are basically Stompy based, like Chalice or all this kind of stuff. These are the worst matchups.
Okay.
Yeah. And blue decks are particularly not really a big problem.
Yeah. How are our main deck Leyland of the Void decks for Ant?
Yeah,
no problem.
typically they are accompanied by chalices and trinispheres and something like that, and that are problematic. Without, like, curses, for example, also has them, I think.
Yeah.
This is not that bad of a matchup because just a ley line and maybe a combo win, I don't know, is like I can play around graveyard hits.
Okay.
This is
It's mostly one turn later or 2 turns later, am I right?
yeah, and I can
most.
still, like, when there's chalice and trinisphere, I just can't scalp my hand.
Yeah.
And if a Leyland is on the battlefield, I can cast my cantrips. I can find a way to just go off with Ad Nauseam, or I don't know, have maybe a natural storm with Tutor Chain or something like this.
Yeah.
So a Leyland is typically not an issue at all.
Okay.
But if there is chalice or something like this that's combined, this is a problem. Or the other deck that I want to try is that I've been toying around in the recent past. This is Omnitel. I'm not sure if it is good, but there are versions that play Uro, and Uro is getting better. I'm kind of thinking not playing it as a real combo deck, but more like a control deck with a combo finisher.
Is this the blue-green version with Eureka, or is this an Eureka-less?
Some play Eureka, yeah.
Okay.
But there are lists that also don't play it. It's very, very different.
Okay.
But it is blue-green based, and they have Icefang Hotel, Uros as a grind element in tool element, and they have forces. They even have dazes. And then there is this Omniscience package with Show and Tell, Omniscience, and Cunning Wish, and so on and so forth. So it's basically a control deck with a combo finisher, but it is a little bit more dedication to the combo because you need like 12, 16 cards for the combo. Of course, it is quite heavy investment. You just can go full combo, full control, rather.
You mean as I did with my 4-color painted deck back in the
Yeah,
days,
yeah.
which was
kind
like
of,
5-6 dedicated comp cards.
yeah. I kind of want to toy around with this potentially. So this would be the two directions I'm heading towards.
Yeah.
And Benny, what about you, Phil?
Yeah, I will be playing my trusty old Phoenixes.
The all-time trusty.
Yeah, I will be true to them because they only. I have just some sideboard options that I want to address
Mm-hmm.
because I really like the idea of Necromancy on the sideboard
Mm-hmm.
against Doomsday.
Yeah.
It's certainly great, and I also reincorporated the one of Reanimate.
Mm-hmm.
That was so funny. I've played on Saturday at the one of our friends
Yeah.
at a private
A local play group.
a local prayer group. Yeah, I don't want to call it party because we were 6 people, so it's
Yeah.
not really a party. But we just met to sling some cards, and I played versus Dominic on Black Red Reanimator, and I have put the Reanimator in the sideboard, and he just got I think Faithless Looting into discard Sarah's Emissary.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, okay, land, LED, Rite of Flame, Burning Wish, grab my reanimate Sarah's Emissary on creature. Good game. Yeah, and that was just glorious. And so
Yeah.
I will for sure. Maybe the slot will be that I'm cutting will be Massacre.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have never ever wished on a massacre. I have never needed it.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, you would need it versus Stefan Texas, but most of the time they have a failure out, so it's like 4 mana.
Yeah. And then
Against
a
a
deafening
port.
silence and
Yeah, and what does it kill? Nothing that relates to the graveyard.
yeah, it's
It would only kill the failure. Yeah,
it's just not good
and
enough.
it's really really hard to play versus the failure. Yeah,
and versus Death and Texas, I simply want turn 1 Phoenixes or turn 1 14 Goblin tokens.
yeah, something
Well,
like that.
I mean, I'm not sure how is Containment Priest still played all that much. This might be a concern, but even then,
how does you play the Containment Priest that it gets massacred?
yeah.
So it's like it stops the first combo turn,
For
then
sure,
you
yeah.
need another combo turn to get to, or another Burning Wish to get to the massacre,
Yeah.
and then you need another combo turn, which is like basically hoping that
it is.
Eastern and Christmas is on the same day.
Yeah,
As the good
that's a
old German
really
saying
good
goes.
summary here.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, on Saturday also I played for the first time ever in my life Chess Don't Blade in Paper.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're a blue person now.
Shame on me. Shame. Shame.
But I hope you also noticed, but this is not the first time that I'm saying this.
Yeah, that's true.
You tend to play more and more blue decks in the last recent time.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just because Margaret is
you
such
know-
an
Underplayed?
underplayable color.
Yeah, underplayable, yeah.
So you tell me that you are now a brainstorm connoisseur now.
True.
Yeah,
But
Brainstorm is
Reanimator-
cool. It's a really,
It's a
really,
really cool
nice
card,
drug.
yeah.
It's like cocaine.
But Reanimator is technically Mother, right?
Yeah, but it's combo. I can certainly play blue combo. That's totally okay. But
Playing value, blue in value is
yeah, that's not mine.
not your jam, right?
But in Chess Guys Don't Play, it's cool.
Should I brew up now and Mardu all combos pile with Esper
Like-
Sentinels?
Yeah, that's cool.
With Helm and Painter.
Like the
That's
Black
cool,
Death deck, but
Like Black Death, just
converted
in
to Mado, yeah.
more colors. I think that's worse than, but
It's way worse. It's really hard on the Urza Saga now.
Mana base gets worse.
Mana base gets really, really bad. But
So sign me up.
actually, I told you I've brewed around with
But you can
White-
play it with. You have to cut the Saga. You have to cut the Esper Sentinels, but you can play the Tombs because you play now.
I'm
the-
taking
the
notes, Peter. I'm
cards
taking notes.
that you can get a Painter, a Grindstone, and a Helm in the Exile.
I
I mean, it's gonna be something.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing him actually. So yeah, these are the two decks that I'm playing right now and that I've sleeved up. And yeah, I'm very hopeful that the future will bring something new,
Mm-hmm.
some new brews that I'm working on.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe even some Mardu colored or blue black colored, like I have. You've seen the list already.
It's really a
It-
nice one.
It needs a little bit fine tuning, and it will certainly be on one of our future episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And as we talk about future episodes, why don't we start to talk about?
Oh, we skyrocket straight into the next topics.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted
Yeah.
to get the curve here.
Yeah. That's a good
and
curve.
it was a good curve.
So Daniel,
Yeah.
tell us about the future. What are you doing?
What I'm doing, well, I'm basically finished right now. This
What
is
you
your
did.
part now. What I did. I had, well, actually, why don't we start about the story behind this? Wasn't this like a 5-minute decision that we made?
Yeah,
Hey,
I think we were sitting around talking about what could we do that's
That's kind of
some
new.
more and better strategical
Oh no,
content.
I
and
remember.
stuff.
I released. I think. I'm sorry, Peter, but I think I released my Legacy End page on the
Yeah.
website, and Philip, you just asked me, hey, whether did you already ask Kai to write an article on this?
Yeah, it
And-
was like that. Yeah,
Kaiser Vetari, because he's also a Storm aficionado and a really nice guy. And Philip said, "Hey, have you already talked to Kai to write an article about, on the webpage?" And I thought, this is actually a nice idea. I just go ahead and ask him. But he told me he's not really into writing stuff, but he's more into speaking, and I fully understand this and I
Yeah.
can appreciate this. And I thought about to myself, okay, what can we do then differently to maybe still do some kind of cooperation? And I thought about doing a special episode about Storm
yeah,
with Kai, and like doing a little bit of a deep dive and in-depth talk, just a session of chatting. And I want to highlight some of the aspects that we talk in an article that I write on the website, and then I can also publish some written content on there, for example. And then I think I presented this idea to you, and you said yes.
and I think I said, yeah,
we can.
why don't we make a series out of
A
that?
series, yes. and you can talk to, well, I'm not spoiling in all the
I mean-
guests right now.
I
I
mean,
don't want to do
I,
this.
I don't want to spoil the guests
Yeah.
because it's basically
It works.
in non-wet sheets, as we say in German.
Yeah. But we thought about some people that we could ask to
Yeah.
to have like separate sessions of, like, each of us has some specialties and
Yeah.
special interests of decks and archetypes. Mine is Storm,
Mine will be about painter.
Painter, and what will your specialty, of course?
Probably Cheng.
Like brewing.
Yeah, brewing.
For example, yeah. And we thought about, why don't we make a little bit of in-depth talk so that you guys can also learn on our interest a little bit more.
Yeah.
And we have really nice guests to be accompanied by this. And yes, I already teased my guests for this. This is Kai Savatari. I did an episode with him about Storm, about Ant specifically, and I think it turned out really nice. I had a lot of fun with him. It is he's a very, very great guy, by the way, and it will be released hopefully in 1 week or 2 weeks. We start the series. It will not be on a regular basis. It will be whenever we feel it is right to do so. And yeah, I hope you guys will like it. I hope you guys are excited as we are about this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And yeah, this is kind of a new experiment that we did, and I think this is a nice addition to our new, let's say, main schedule of our podcasts that we have.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Fear not, the shit talking will resume here.
It will not go anywhere.
Yeah, but it will be a way different style
Yeah.
than.
And by the way,
these
how's
ones.
it called? series?
No, we aren't spoiling this year.
We are not spoiling?
We're not spoiling.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to be thoughtful with our spoilers.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, that's true for sure.
Okay.
Okay, so that was about the future. If shall we advertise our Patreon here again? No,
I mean, we did it already.
we did it already. But
Response underscore
At the end, maybe.
and follow us on everywhere on social media.
and Instagram.
Okay, I think last but not least, we can talk about a little bit of Magic private stuff. I mean, I teasered myself on with the first time paper legacy that I had in months at the a little play group style. So Daniel, what happens in your MTG life?
I signed up because I'm interested in this kind of corporations or tournament structures that happens. The Blue Dojo from Italy is hosting a Modo tournament. I want to say
MTGO
the
Hero.
MTG Heroes. I think it is the second iteration.
yeah.
They already had one, and it is basically a free tournament. You can sign up. I mean, right now it has already started, and it is 5 rounds. Where you play each week. You get a new pairing, and you play. Within this week, you play against your opponent, and then there is a cut to top 8. And I think once per week, also the Blue Dojo will live stream, and they will collect some of the matches that wanna play on live camera and get featured on the stream.
Yeah, it's basically every Tuesday, I think, and this week it's on Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, something like this.
Yeah.
And I signed up, and the nice thing about this is because we have bannings right now, I think this one would be one of the reasons why they did it like this. Each and every week you can change your deck lists.
Okay, that's
So,
great.
Yeah, you can send in. You have to send in every week a new deck list. And I for myself started with trusty old Storm for the first one. Yes.
Who would have seen this?
Yes, and I'm excited. I'm not sure how I will fare. I think what I've heard, there's also some prizes. They have some merchandise from Blue Dojo. That you will get. This is really nice, I think.
They are from Verona, am I right?
Cremona.
Cremona. Okay.
Cremona.
Is
That's the shop as far as I know.
Is this near Verona? Or is
It's
on a completely different...
I gotta Google
Page
this,
of
but I
Italy.
think it's in the south of Bologna at Firenze.
Okay.
I'm not
but,
sure.
But I'm not sure here. So
It must be in the Po area, like
It must be somewhere in Italy, yeah.
somewhere in Italy. No, there's this Po area. Don't you know the Po
it's-
area?
At the
It's
Po
a
River.
Po
Yeah, that's
Ebene.
true.
I don't know where this
Okay.
one is. The Poo Plains.
It's like around the Garda Lake. This is the Po
Okay.
Ebene.
Okay. Yeah, and
It's
really likely.
northern part of Italy.
It is really likely
There
that there
it
will be
is.
So
At-
completely at the
at
Po
the
Ebene.
Garda Lake.
It's completely in the middle of northern Italy.
Yeah.
I'm
Like I
not
said-
sure where. I mean, the Garda Lake should be like here, I think.
Probably, I'm not sure.
A little bit
Yeah.
more south. Like.
Yeah. If it's in reaching distance, I will definitely travel there in the summer.
Well, I think from our hometown, it should be, I don't know, 6 hours.
6 hours, yeah.
Something
I
like
mean,
this.
it's 6 hours from here to the Garda Lake, to the top
Okay,
of the
then
Garda
that's-
Lake.
Probably 8.
It should be 8 to 9 maybe,
So I
because we travel. Yeah, 6 hours is for Marchesine.
Yeah, it's probably 1 hour after Garda Lake.
Okay, I will see it how it goes for me, but yeah, we can continue with.
But yeah,
The talk here.
they also have big legacy tournaments in paper sometimes.
They have a great community.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's for sure true.
2 hours. It's from maybe I will go there, but 2 hours is a little bit long.
But if you are on vacation already in
Yeah. If I'm
Garda Lake,
on
yeah.
vacation, I will. If I have the time, I will go there. If they have some paper legacy tournaments.
Will crush a local meta with your painter brew.
Or my helm brew.
Helm brew, yeah.
my helm group.
Yeah.
No, you helped me tune it.
That's true. That's something that I'm.
But
What do you have going on in private magic, by the way? Then, because this is
I've bought myself some helms
you bought yourself some help
because I sold again some cards to friend we
Oh, really?
all three have.
Yeah, I was there
That's
also.
Tom. Yeah.
To Tom.
Shout out to
And
Tom.
yeah, a friend of mine also sold himself the cards. I've talked about Flo a lot here on the podcast.
Yep.
And he bought himself a playset of Scrublands now.
Oh my gosh.
He's deep in the helming side. Because he's also playing Black White Helm most likely, but in a quite different way because he doesn't enjoy the sagas. And he
Okay.
said sagas are way too good.
Yeah,
to
that's
not
true.
play them.
That's true.
And yeah, he also had an Esper helm deck that he played on Friday Night Magic, which I also built and sent Phil, and we talked about the list.
And I tuned it also.
And you helped me tune. Yeah, I mean, Phil is just the man that I sent the lists to because he has some experiences with brewing, and that's the reason he will talk about brewing most likely in the short. Okay.
That's my problem. I simply love it, and I love toying around with bad ideas and make them good. But because they're bad ideas, they're most of the time not good, even if you put good cards in it.
As a friend of mine told me when we were making some music and recorded it and mastered it, you can't make a steak out of a burger meat, out of a burger patty. So if the thing that goes in is bad, the thing that goes out is also bad. I mean, you can make it better with seasoning.
Yeah.
That's true.
And like brainstorm ponder and stuff like that.
This is the seasoning of Lash.
It's the season.
It's the salt, the pepper, brainstorm, and ponder.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I wanted to put in Snapcaster mages into my Rest in Peace deck.
I mean, this is very.
I mean,
really
it was
wrong.
like for 10 and 15 seconds after I thought about it, it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I can totally understand this because the only reason why I'm playing Jeskai Stoneblade at the moment is because of flashing back expressive iteration with Snapcaster Mage.
That's good, yeah.
So great.
It's a value overhaul.
Oh, that's so.
It's
oh
it's
my
the
God.
good old 3-for-1.
Yeah. That just feels so great. That's the only reason why I'm playing Jeskai Stoneblade.
I mean, in the list I sent you,
Yeah.
I don't think that I made the sideboard yet, but there will be 3 mentors in the sideboard.
Okay.
Because if I don't want to go with the helm plan, I just go with mentors.
But then you need 4 bubbles.
I have the 4 bubbles.
Yeah, but you need them in the list.
Yeah, most likely. 2 in the sideboard.
I have them in the binder. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's not Burning Wish, it's Peter's Wish.
I can get my bubbles from the binder anytime.
And then you just draw it.
It's. I mean, I really because we're talking about wishes and stuff like that. I really enjoy the learn cards and the lesson cards from Strixhaven. I think.
Yeah,
I think the
Strixhaven.
concept is really interesting because it's on the band list. They've got a 3 mana card band that has like learn, and you can bounce a spell that costs 1 or a creature or a permanent that costs 1.
Okay.
With learn, and that means you
Let's divide by 0, but
Yeah,
I have
it's-
seen it today for the first time ever in my life.
and I
So I was surprised by it got banned.
yeah, but it's just a 2 form because it bounces the card, and I mean it's a tempo for. It's just a tempo card.
It's not a,
It's not a 2-for-1 because it just bounces, but it's it's a tempo card because you bounce something. I mean, it's negative tempo because it costs 3, but yeah, you gain a lesson card that can be good in a matchup. Like I think
Doesn't
there's a
learn-
lesson sweeper.
Doesn't learn work this way that
You can put in a lesson card, or you can discard a card and draw a card. So it's just if you gain
Okay.
a lesson card, it's just you gain a card,
Yeah.
which is like really interesting because I've seen Brian Cook play some lesson cards in a combo deck in, was it Pioneer and stuff like that.
So Why did you actually now talk about this lesson card?
Because I saw it in the band announcement.
The band announcement.
And
Ooh.
I find
This is a
the
nice
concept really, really cool.
And I
Okay.
talked about Burning Wish and Peter's Wish.
Now I get
Yeah.
it, because I was really confused why we're talking about standard right now.
You were just sleeping for
Yeah.
1 second, and now we're
Okay.
talking about Standard and Pioneer.
Yeah, oh my God,
What has the podcast become?
Okay,
Response. Standard podcast.
so standard podcast.
That's probably a really, really bad name.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something
No,
else?
I think because he said band discussion, this wraps our episode nicely up.
Almost. I just.
You have one more
Gino,
topic?
Yeah, I have one more topic.
For sure,
Gino
yeah.
has asked me on Twitter. He has
About
said,
Sturmgag?
Yeah, about Sturmgag.
We
I
should
gotta,
collaborate, yes.
I gotta
I can bring
address
Sturm.
this. Back in I think pre-COVID times. Was it 2019?
End of 2019, I think it was.
Yeah, when Underworld Breach and was pretty new, we went to a card market series in Prague, and there had the idea to play to brew around in a Hogak deck that can win via Tendrils of Agony, via Storm. And basically, what you had to do was mill yourself with Stitcher Supplier and sack it with Altaf Dementia and play it again with Underworld Breach and do this all the time and get the mana with LEDs.
And you mill yourself
And you mill yourself and then you can Tendrils of Agony your opponent. And since then, Gino always asks me when I'm brewing Sturmgag.
a Stormgag, yeah.
Yeah. And it just doesn't work because
Underworld
Underworld Breach is banned. And he just simply won't get it.
But maybe this time.
You need something like the Impact Tremors.
Don't get don't get his hopes up. I already abandoned the idea.
I will
But I
do
like the name.
something up.
The
The
name,
name
is
is
really
great because
Stormgag.
because if you Germanize it, it's like a slang word for diarrhea.
Yeah. It would
So
be
that's
a
kinda
nice
funny.
deck name to have.
So that's the mystery of Sturmgag.
Yeah. And on that note, I think we can end
We
the
can
podcast.
certainly end here.
Yeah.
If you like what we are doing, consider supporting us on Patreon, patreon.com/response_legacy. Follow us on Twitter. It's @response_legacy. You can find me on Twitter. It's @finekmtg, PHINEKMTG. Also, a really, really huge addition to our podcast is greatness@anycost.com, Daniel's website about modern mid-range and legacy Ant.
Yeah.
And Peter, where can we find you? And certainly also on Instagram.
Not on Instagram. But you can find the podcast on Instagram. It's @response_legacy. But you can find me on Twitter. It's @unicornlord. But the Lord is 0. Where can you find you, Daniel?
It's at Twitter, of course, @FlyingDelver. And as Philip already said, on Greatness at Any Cost. And you can also catch us up in our Discord, for example. We have our own Legacy Discord in Response. The
A
link,
Legacy Discord.
Legacy Discord.
We will put the link in the show notes.
Yes. And yeah, if you like what you're doing,
Support us.
support us.
And
In response. The end.
This was In Response, a Legacy podcast. If you enjoyed the ride, feel free to support the show by following, leaving a review, or subscribe on patreon.com/response_legacy.